Nerd alert!
All right, so I'm gonna continue here. You're probably watching this as the third video now. I'm gonna try and split this into digestible sections or edit out stuff that's not that important. But I think it's kind of, hopefully it's interesting. Hopefully, let me know if it's not. But I need to do this exercise so that I can get a set of submissions together for CGC, and yeah, so I thought it'd be interesting. But yeah, I'll probably, based on how long this is going and looking at the time, this might be split into 6 videos. I don't know. But anyway, so thank you for hanging with me here. Hopefully this, like I said, this is interesting, but feel free to fast forward through and look for the comics that look interesting. All right. So one of the few in my collection that are Golden Age, I got A Crime Does Not Pay, number 67. All right, so I think, if my memory serves me, okay, so it has to be a 4.0 or above, it looks like, to be in $100. So, based on that spine, I don't think so. So unfortunately, this is one of those where I might just like, you know, it'd be nice to just get it encapsulated and have it as one of the few Golden Agers I have. But I think because of the large amount here I'm going to hold off. Okay. All right. So, another Amazing Adventures, number 18. I think this had to be, it had to be a 9. And this one I do not think makes the grade. The other one I had did. This one has a tick. 9.0, 9.9. You know what? Let's give it a shot. Okay. There we go. Starting again here. Had to charge up the old phone, and it's evening. So you'll notice the light's a little bit different, but shouldn't make too much difference. Okay. So continuing on, I've got Amazing Spider-Man, number 71, guest starring Quicksilver. I always liked this issue. This was one that somebody in our family had bought before I was even aware comic books existed. It was in our toy chest. And it's got a great Lee Romita story, Peter Parker's life, the difficulties of being Spider-Man and hiding it, etc. And just really classic Spider-Man story. What always made it a great read, every single issue. So, now, let's see. Okay. There it is. Okay. This Spider-Man number 71 has to be an 8.0. I'm going to point this light where I can see the comics much better here. It's been 8.0. No, afraid not. I really like this comic and bought this issue or this copy specifically for nostalgic reasons, but it is not in that condition. So, moving on to Amazing Spider-Man number 45. Not in great shape. The spine has a lot of issues there. So my guess is we're probably not going to be submitting this one either. It has to be a 6. No. I mean, recently had a lot of score of 4s on CGCs, so this is probably a 3-ish. So we're going to put that aside. Okay, now I got an older one. One of the Ditko issues of Spider-Man. Number 35. And according to what I looked up, now just as a side note, I've been using Go Collect for the pricing. If you're selling or planning to sell on eBay, one of the pricing services like GPA, Go Collect, I'm sure there's other ones. I tried to go through eBay sold, other ways of searching for the prices of things as they actually were sold, And since eBay really limits their listings to the last 90 days, etc., it's just a lot of work, and it's incomplete picture of the data. And so it's well worth it to get one of these services. I'm not going to adopt one or the other above another. I just happen to fall in with Go Collect, and it served my needs. There's certain things about it I wish were better, but in general, it does what I need to do when I need to look up prices and what is probably going to be the selling price. Anyway, back to Amazing Spider-Man number 35. Has to be a 4.5 to reach that $100 mark. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. It's old enough, and it'll go up in value. I'm going to put it in any category, as you can see here. All right. Now, Amazing Spider-Man number 258. Newer, or well, later, much good deal later than the other ones we were just talking about. So this has to be a 9.0. Try to upper camera there, but you can't really see enough there. 9.0. I think this definitely is a good candidate for 9.0. So I'm going to put in the 9.0 category. All right. And we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 204. So this is kind of third. I think the third issue that Black Cat appears, but their second kind of appearance, if you get what I mean. So 204 has to be a 9.8 right now. I think this will probably go up as time goes on, but 9.8. It's got some marks which I can't tell if that's printing. I'm going to be conservative because we're getting good enough. Oh, shoot. Not good. Let the comic fall. Thankfully, it's in Mylar with a backing bag, so a backing board. So I bet you it'll be fine, but I'm gonna make sure that stays up there. Okay. Now, we've got another copy of this. Amazing Spider-Man number 195. Second appearance of Black Cat. 195 I had. Has to be a 9.4. Okay. This is it's an odd one. It's really badly cut. You can see the Comics Code Authority stamp is actually half cut. The edge is cut off. It's got kind of looks like a spine roll, but it's not actually a spine roll. It's just a binding issue of how they bound it. You can see some rubbing. I'm going to say no on that one. So let's make a new file over here. Okay. All right. I've got another copy of that. I bought several copies when I was young of this issue. So once again, a 9.4. Okay, now this one doesn't seem to have. It's got a little bit of a rub over here. We'll give it a shot. Okay, let's see what they say about that one. Okay, so now we have Spider-Man 306, one of the McFarlane runs. Needs to be a 9.8. It's looking pretty good. I think it's got a good possibility to be a 9.8, but we will have it pre-screened because you never know what those 9.8s mean. I'll tell you. You hear me? Those of you who have put things in for CGC. I have to tell you, I had a Sandman number 1 and a Preacher number 1 come back as 9.8. There's no way I would have put those as 9.8. I mean, not that they had spine ticks or anything, but you could tell they were red. I mean, there was a white line right down the spine where it had been clearly opened. And so, I mean, maybe that's just something that they, obviously the covers still look fantastic, even though you could see that. But I don't know. I still don't quite get some of the grading calls. Things that to me I'd be sensitive to, they're not, and vice versa. But okay, we got number 303 of Amazing Spider-Man, another McFarlane run issue of that. 303 has to be 9.8 to be more than $100. I see some minor ticks here, so I'm going to veto that one, but it's close, so eventually that'll be in a submission someday, just not right now. All right, one of another series that I liked a lot when I was a young, Man Thing. I got number 1 here. It's got some issues. It's got something seems to have stuck or adhered to this upper corner. It's got a lot of ticks, so and this edge has clearly been well thumbed, as you can see, maybe. All right, Man Thing number 1 has to be an 8.0. I would veto that. El veto. Okay. I grabbed some other early Man Things. I got a number 8, which is a little bit better shape, but an 8 has to be a 9.8 for $100. And no, it's a nice looking issue at first glance, so it might be a 9.0, maybe an 8.5, but yeah. Okay, so that is not going. All right, so then, these Charlton Horror books, they're interesting. A lot of Ditko work in a lot of these. This one, I don't know for sure. Looking at it, it's got some issues. And let's see, just for grins, Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves. No, it's not collectible. Right now, people aren't buying this. I find it pretty interesting, especially some of those Ditko ones. They've got some wacky stories in them, and his art is, it is what it is. It's Ditko on some of these early Spider-Mans, fantastic, but very specific style that, the only person that comes close sometimes is Miller. And so if Miller and Ditko are agreeing, then, it's a very cinematic, it breaks down to a very cinematic style, very line-oriented. So, and Ditko just had a lot of skill for certain things. Anyway, but this is not something that people are buying, so I'm not going to waste time to get it CGC. I don't have a lot of attachment to these. Okay, here's a great Ditko cover, an orange cover. How often do you see an orange cover? That's just great. That black on orange, and then this mummy in the tomb down here. So cool. So very cool, eh? That's great. I love that. All right, so Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves, number 27. I don't have a price on here, but, I think it's awesome. So it's not going to CGC, but good stuff. All right, so then we've got some really obscure kind of Marvel characters. We got Madrid the Mystic. Supposedly one of the early references to the Darkhold, I think, in Jathan. I'm sorry, the actual title is Marvel Chillers number 1. Excuse me. Has to be a 9.0 right now to be in $100. And you know what? This one's pretty good. You can see just a little bit wear up there. But wow, otherwise, wow, it's pretty sharp. I think that'll easily make a 9.0. Okay. Okay, Marvel Comics Presents. I grabbed some early runs of this. This is number 4. Marvel Comics Presents. Where are you? I think I might not have put on here just because it just did not pan out. Yeah, okay, we're going to veto that. I think besides the number 1 there, we're not going to find, and the one where they start the Weapon X. So here's number 5, and that again I'm going to veto. Just not that collectible yet. Okay, then we've got this, which was the start of the Weapon X story in Marvel Comics Presents. So according to this, it should be a 7.2 to be worth $100. Wait, what did I say? It needs to be a 9.2. There's a little weirdness around the staple there. Otherwise, there's a little white mark down there. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to put it in 9.2. Okay. I grabbed a bunch of the other Weapon X's, and then I think as I found these other ones aren't quite there yet. But man, amazing Barry Windsor Smith art. Very readable story.